I just hated the fact that I felt like I wasn't contributing or doing anything. And it just was getting to my brain like I can't keep doing this. Like I either need to find somewhere else to go because I can't see myself doing this exact same thing and not do anything as well. Just do drafting continuously for the next what till I retire
Mm.
and just be at that level and just stay there and be the like the drawer to in and out type of work. I can't do that for the next however many years. From like even the recruiters like at the start all they were saying is so many drafters have been let go or like that's where like the whole thing was going. I think total now 3 interviews. The opportunity for my second interview came up in the same week of receiving that. I had a phone call interview from another company, and that was Revit specialist again, BIM coordinator, um, with a focus with like AI and that.
Mm.
I feel like if I didn't make that step to get in contact with you and us going back and forth, I would have been stressed out. I think the fact that I had the skills behind me just took a whole weight off my shoulders.
Mm.
And it gave me a like another sort of drive because even last year I felt like my motivation and drive for anything that was outside of work was just stagnant. Like I did like it wasn't even there. Now we're in what July. I've got another job using that to gain more skills, and all I want to do now is pretty much get as much knowledge as I can out of where I'm at.
This video is a quick conversation between me and one of my clients, Diego from Australia, who got multiple job offers as a BIM coordinator, BIM tech, BIM lead in multiple companies. And we talk about the whole process he went through from learning the skills to applying to getting the jobs to going through the interviews. If you are interested in learning the same things or you resonate with Diego and you think you're in a similar position to him and you want to implement my 3-phase BIM blueprint in order for you to get to a similar outcome, go down and book a call with me. I can have a chat and see if I can help you do the exact same thing as we helped Diego do. Let's just start off with you just giving like a small introduction, or not an introduction, like a background of like what you were doing before you met me, the type of work that you were doing, and what your goals were, and sort of where you've come in like the last few months. But yeah,
So for the last what 14, 15 years now, I've been like an actual structural drafter, trying to work my way up to become manager, which I was at my last job. And at that point, I felt like my role was becoming a bit stagnant, and I kind of saw the writings of the wall where work was dying down. There was nothing to do. So at that point, I started doing my own sort of information, looking online, seeing what the options were, and that's when you came up again
yeah,
after what a year or so. Um, and I thought I'd get in contact with you because your videos were very on point with where I was at, and at that point, like it kind of gave me a point of wanting to shift from one thing to another. Where at one point I didn't feel like anything that was leading to that to where I wanted to be wasn't going to happen at that company.
yeah,
So I felt like I needed to prepare my skills in that higher than what they were. Um, and yeah, like it was just it was kind of fate to be honest with you because it everything kind of it was like a domino effect
yeah,
where everything lined up to where it had to be, and then I got made redundant. And that opportunity for me was like a breath of fresh air. Like I didn't see it as a point of oh crap, what am I gonna do?
yeah,
Especially at the same point of buying a house.
yeah. Yeah, man.
So
You bought a house like
yeah,
soon after we started working together. You bought a house, and that that's a big down deposit, and you're doing the monthly payments, and then you got made redundant. It was like
yeah, in the same week, which
back to back. Yeah,
at first, like when they first told me I got made redundant, it was a bit nerve-wracking, but literally maybe 2 minutes into the conversation, I just thought to myself, this is what you wanted. Like I didn't want to be there because I felt like uh my skills were just going to be stagnant, and I wasn't going anywhere. Like there wasn't anything for me to progress into. Like ideas for innovation within that company were kind of slowing down. Um, they didn't want to spend money on like pretty much anything anymore. Um, so that was kind of like a door opening to something else. And then it's been a month or so. I think it was a month that I was unemployed.
Yeah.
Um, and pretty much I had, I think, total now 3 interviews since then. And from like even the recruiters, like at the start, all they were saying is, um, so many drafters have been let go, or like that's where like the whole thing was going.
Yeah.
I'm like, look, I'm not in a rush. I'm gonna, like, if you guys find something cool, I'm gonna check online. If I find something, sweet. If anything pops up, cool, but I'm not gonna be like stressed out like over it. And yeah, and then the opportunity for my second interview came up, and that's where the role was BIM, I think it was BIM specialist, um, and structural drafter, I think. Um, and I think what kind of pushed it as well is the fact that I had information to say. Like I had knowledge to back up what I was actually what they were asking me. Not only in the side of that drafting, but also when it came across to BIM coordination and programs and ideas and stuff that needed that like processes on how things needed to be done.
Yeah.
I was able to answer them coherently and there wasn't any issues. So I think that as well kind of pushed me, will push me ahead of anybody else that was at that point, because the feedback as well I got back is that not, I think there was only one other person that had a bit of experience with ACC
Right.
or BIM 360, but it was very, very minimal. It was like less than what, like I actually had more experience than what they did.
Yeah.
And and they weren't as senior, like they didn't have any sorry, they didn't have the total amount of years that I had, so there were less. I think there might have been like 9 or 8. Um, but yeah, so I think that kind of what pushed it over the edge. And then in the same week of receiving that, I had a phone call interview from another company, and that was Revit specialist again, BIM coordinator, with a focus with like AI and that.
Mm.
And I pretty much emailed them back saying, look, I'm interested in having an interview. Like if we can make this at this time, like I think it might have been like 9:30 when I responded. Like I'm awake, but I understand if you're not.
Yeah.
And then let's talk tomorrow type of thing. And they gave me a call back the next day, spoke for about an hour and a half, and again, the questions they were asking me was heavily involved in sort of the BIM aspect and pushing programming and programs like ACC and kind of collaborating everything into um, its own sort of brain within the
Yeah.
company. Because at their company they had a lot of stuff just all over the place that they kind of want to like just want somebody to control and like bring it all together.
So yeah.
Um, so again, it seemed like they were impressed with that.
Well, that's what I like about this whole thing because like you were made redundant, you bought a house, but you weren't stressed. And there's a lot of people that are stressed, like, oh, I'm not gonna be able to like find a job or like I lost my job, what do I do now? But
Mm.
you knew you had the skills and you knew that you were someone that was sort of like an outlier in the industry, so you'd be able to get these opportunities. So you weren't even actively looking for jobs and
Mhm.
applying. You just like here and there looked at a few things on Seek and Indeed or whatever, and you put your application in. But
Yeah,
straight away, the ones that you did had like nearly 100% success rate because they would ask you to come in for an interview.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So I mean, and even the opportunity, like from the company that you were working before to the company you're working in now, that like you weren't even doing anything to do with ACC or anything, right?
No. Yeah, so at that company it was more like all of their jobs were all server based. So there was nothing that was cloud based. Maybe like a handful of jobs, maybe two or three that were live at the time, were only being used through XCC or BIM, specifically because it was requested by the architect.
Yeah.
Other than that, it wasn't it was not being used. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's also huge. Like this new opportunity, you can use ACC and all these different programs that you've learned, and it was much easier for you in the interview because you actually knew and you had known the workflows and everything.
Yeah.
But also, it's crazy how you got this interview for this coordination role, which is AI focused, because that's not even something that's showing how quickly like everything is changing.
Yeah. That's something that as well, like that's like that I've had conversation with other drafters and even engineers as well, probably since the start of the year, because with the way the economy was going like at the start of the year, people were all worried about their jobs. And now with that AI is becoming a heavily used thing, people again are worried that their job's going to be like not even around in the next 10 years.
Exactly. Yeah.
And but I think like that's another thing as well with one of the companies that the AI focused company, they're trying to keep the people in the company,
Mm,
but like for them to have control over the AI and
that's right.
not the other way around.
Yeah.
They kind of focused on the people to use it and not get taken over by it.
Yeah, I mean that's like that's the thing that a lot of people don't understand is like even when you say like AI, what AI is, it's just a model that's been trained, and then
Mm.
based on that training data, it creates a specific outcome. So like if you yes, you could be made redundant if the only thing you know is AutoCAD and then like you're not really learning new things because AI, you can train AI easily to produce drawings which are 2Ds, things like that. But
Yeah,
you can't really, it's very hard to train an AI. You need so much data to train it for like how to use these different programs, the workflows, managing people. Like AI
yeah.
can't really manage people as
No,
easy because people
definitely
management is like a that you can't ever get rid of that, right?
no.
So like anything where you're dealing with people and systems, it's very hard. You can use AI to like help that company or help that process,
Grow, yeah,
but you can't replace it. So like I think if you're like becoming like the best thing you can do is just learn it and become friends with it and actually learn like all these different programs
yeah,
and make sure that you're ahead of like the curve when it comes to
yeah,
learning these like programs because that way you know that people get scared and think like okay AI is going to take over. That's because you don't understand. You're not on top of like the new programs and all that stuff. If you're on top of that, then you're not going to be scared because you know okay I have the skill set. I'm sort of like up to date with everything. If there's a new AI tool that's like changing the industry because we don't know what's going to happen, you
mm,
can start to learn that because it's like going from learning level like grade one math to like university math, right? When AI comes out of nowhere. But if you had gone to like year 12, when you get to university math, like you can, okay, I'm gonna go learn that. Whereas like the other people would have to go from year one to year
yeah.
12 before
Like
you don't even
they're
understand
playing
all
catch
the
up. Like
exactly.
the
Yeah.
whole thing, they're just going to be playing catch up, and that's part of the thing as well that I liked about that company is that they're very willing to like help their what seemed like help their employees like progress
Yeah.
and not kind of be at that level where they're satisfied and that's it.
Yeah.
But but yeah, like with everything that's happened now, I'm kind of taking it for what it's worth. Like I'm trying to just gain as much information as I can and then just see where it's going to take me, to be honest.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I mean, like before we even started working, like what was you said that everything sort of led up to that moment. What was like the main thing that you were thinking every single day when you were going to work? Or like what's like the main emotion and the feeling that you
Um,
made you even like think like, okay, I need to do something to change at least or learn and
it like honestly, it was the fact that there at one point there wasn't any work. Like I knew, and I just hated the fact that I felt like I wasn't contributing or doing anything, and it just was getting to my brain like, I I can't keep doing this. Like I either need to find somewhere else to go or do something and then get something else because I can't see myself doing this exact same thing and not do anything as well. Like as in just do drafting continuously for the next what till I retire
Mm.
and just be at that level and just stay there and be the the like the drawer to in and out type of work. I can't do that for the next however many years. So that kind of just the fact that there wasn't any work kind of sparked that whole thing was like I can't do this for a week on end or months on end.
Mm,
Like because I know eventually it was gonna come around that I wasn't gonna have a job.
mm,
Because then like no one's gonna pay you to just sit at home and do nothing.
exactly. Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? So that was like, all right, if this happens, at least I have a backup that I know I have an avenue to get into. That was kind of my motivation where I knew I saw where my career at that point was going, where the kind of the industry was going, because as well at that time there wasn't that much opportunity to actually go out and look for another job
Yeah.
because I think everybody was in the same boat. Because there were other people that I was talking to that were like drafters in Sydney, same thing. They at home doing nothing. Like some of them were just watching TV at home.
Yeah.
That type of stuff. Yeah, and then I was like, all right, I can't do this. So yeah, that kind of forced me, like it forced my hand.
Yeah, well, that's good. I mean, like when you look at it from the outside, you can think that it's luck, but it wasn't really because like there was a certain emotion that you felt which made you actually reach out to me and
Yeah,
that made you learn that stuff. But you learned that stuff before like you got made redundant, right? So
yeah.
it was like perfect timing, the whole thing.
That's why I said it was like a domino effect.
Yeah,
Like everything lined up, and then one by one, like I got to the next step, to the next step, to the next step, to the next step.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's well, where are you sort of seeing everything going um over the next like year or two? Like what's your vision now that you're in a better opportunity now?
Mm.
Obviously you're not the type of person that wants to stagnate, so you're going to continue growing and learning and building. But do you feel differently about the whole um your career and how you see things differently to back like 2, 3 months ago, or has there
Yeah,
been any like changes in your perspective about anything?
yeah, it has because it did open up my kind of drive to start my own thing on the side as well. Um, because I feel like as well, I don't always want to be working for somebody like if I want to do the drafting thing because I know how to do it, I know back to front of what I'm doing.
Mm,
I know that I would rather do that for myself than for the next however many years do it for somebody else.
mm,
So that kind of so my foundation as a drafter, I'm kind of focusing that into its own sort of side gig to help me get to where I want to get to in the BIM coordination thing.
yeah,
Because um, it honestly made me feel like this whole thing that's happened over what the past 6 months, it's kind of made me view the office space a lot differently. Where going into work at one point just didn't feel good. Like it was never the point of wow, like I'm waking up and I'm going to work. Like I never felt like that, but it was just the moment of getting into the office and knowing what was ahead of that day. It was just like,
yeah,
it just gave me a bad feeling. Like,
yeah, because it's so predictable. You know what you're going to
yeah,
be doing,
yeah,
and you know you're not going to be learning anything new.
yeah. Like that's the thing. It wasn't benefiting me in any way. Like it just felt I was just going with the motions. Like the whole, I don't even know how long now, but yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the biggest thing. I mean, if there like out of any single skill in this whole world that you could which is a high income skill, you can do a really good job with it, but then you could also do your own thing with it. It
yeah,
would be anything to do, it would be BIM. Because
yeah,
that's like the
100%.
whole idea of that is building information modeling. It is like virtual construction. It's
Yeah,
like the whole idea of that is it's on the computer. So like if there is a skill that any engineer or architect can ever acquire in order for them to, because a lot of people want to work virtually from home for themselves.
yeah, yeah.
Like that's a big goal, but there's so many different ways that you can do it. But what are you gonna do to what's like a practical step that's aligned with your career in order to be able to do that? The only thing, the highest potential thing is actually BIM because like
Yeah.
the whole point of that is to be able
Because there's
to.
pretty much there's no it feels like there's no limit to where that can go as well. Like, so you're not, so even say if you become the best BIM person out there, there's always going to be new innovation,
Yeah,
something new coming out, and you're always going to want to learn it.
yeah,
And it's always going to be another skill that is going to be in your back pocket going forward, going forward, going forward. So like, like even if you do your own thing, or like for me, I'm taking it as if I do my own thing and I become good at all these like list of things, I know 5 years, 3 years down the line, or 10 years, like wherever it is going to be something new that I'm going to have to kind of be more knowledgeable in it
exactly.
because and it's going to be like another sort of drive to like get into that as well.
Yeah,
But
yeah. Yeah, I don't. It's actually crazy the amount of people that I speak on a day-to-day basis that are uh like when I do coordination meetings or like when I'm sending emails or stuff like
mm,
that, when you're sending it to like the electrical company or like the fire company, but it's not the actual company. It's like it's like a company which is working underneath that initial company, which means it's like a subcontractor, which means
yeah,
like
yeah,
a guy that's working for himself. And
yeah,
I've spoken to so many guys, and they say, I was speaking to this electrical guy that was working from he lives in Australia, but he went to the US. But you can
mm,
do that stuff because like you can go to the US and you can spend time with your family
yeah,
and you can work the
remotely, yeah,
hours, yeah, you can work remotely. I know even people that even in the company that I'm working for, there's people there that are working remotely different hours from Europe. And then
mm,
also there's people, I've spoken to so many people. For example, I spoke to this fire contracting guy that said that during COVID, he lost his job. And then after that, he said, "Okay, I'm just gonna start trying to do this freelancing BIM stuff by myself." And he started to do it. But now he's got so much work and he's making like triple or double the amount because
mm,
he's charging way more because when you work for a company, the company is charging you at like
yeah,
$120 to the
yeah,
client, but you're only getting paid 50 or whatever, right?
yeah,
So
yeah,
there's a $60 more that you're actually worth.
yeah,
So if you can actually
100%.
find the job, just by finding the job, you can legit work half the hours and make the same amount
Mm.
of time. So you can either work the same amount of hours and double your salary, or you can work half the hours and have the same salary if you were to do that. So like if
That's
there's
the
an
thing. Like,
opportunity, it
if
would be BIM.
there's anything I could say to somebody to do it, I say 100% don't stop yourself from actually like if you want to get into it, just do it.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
at the end of the day, because if you really don't have anything to lose, because even say hypothetically the worst thing, like you don't hear from anybody, you still have your knowledge in what you do to go back to what you were doing like previously, like in
Exactly.
another sort of like aspect of or like role. But
Yeah.
if you have the opportunity to do your own business and try to make it grow, like 100% just do it.
Yeah.
Right now, like with everything that's gone on this year, that is up there for me, like as one of my short-term goals and long-term goals.
Yeah. And it's definitely possible to make that work alongside the other things as well. It's not like just starting a construction company where you
Yeah,
gotta it's like it's BIM, so you can
yeah.
do it alongside. Yeah.
Because even as well, like you don't even need like you have opportunities to even find clients outside of your own country.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Like it doesn't necessarily have to be in Australia.
Yeah. There's so many people working like that.
Mm.
Yeah. Well, I'll keep it short. I'll ask you one more question. So this is sort of just for anyone that's watching. If there's someone that's been watching my videos for a while or follow me on Instagram, whatever, sort of follows me, and they're sort of like on the fence, they don't know if they should book a call or they thought that they would book a call, maybe it's not like the right time or whatever. Like, what would you tell them uh, right now?
So for me, it's been I know it's cliche to say life changing and that, but like that's it's so cliche to say, but in a way it has because I feel like if I didn't say like hypothetically if I didn't do anything or even get in contact with you at the start of the year, I don't think I'd be at in my personal life, like as in completely over the moon with being made redundant.
Hmm.
Like I feel like if I didn't make that step to get in contact with you and us going back and forth, I probably wouldn't. I would have been stressed out. Like that week of me getting made redundant and then not having a job, pretty much.
Yeah.
I honestly would have been like stressed out, like through just like worrying about not finding a job, not being able to pay the mortgage, all of that. But I think the fact that I had the skills behind me, like even the fact that I had time to do what I needed to do to prepare myself, just took a whole weight off my shoulders.
Mm.
And it gave me another sort of drive because even last year I felt like my motivation and drive for anything that was outside of work was just stagnant. Like I did, like it wasn't even there. And then going through the course and going through the steps and the program and like understanding the programs, and it kind of it lit a spark in me like again,
Yeah.
where now we're in what, July. I've got another job using that to gain more skills, and all I want to do now is pretty much get as much knowledge as I can out of where I'm at to push myself to get my own business kind of going again, and my knowledge in my workspace. So pretty much in the BIM workspace, I want to go as far as I can. But yeah,
Seems like you got your passion back and your like your drive, which is like that's what
it
everyone
is, man.
wants. And
That's
that's
like something that I got to say that last year, like definitely last year, I didn't have it at all. Like,
mm.
um, because I think I first saw your video what, almost a year ago exactly now, and then um, for like I don't know how, like, what, 6 months or something, I didn't really think about it, and then something happened at work where I wasn't happy, blah blah, and then your ads popped up again,
Yeah.
and that was like a drive to be like, you know what, screw it, I'm just not even gonna worry about what comes next.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it and push it as far as far as I can to gain as much knowledge as I can.
That's good.
And
Yeah.
after like that happened, yeah, it kind of everything kept going up and up and up.
Yeah. That's good to hear, man.
Yeah,
That's
thanks, man.